also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security.
Update in world news, people in Greenland voted for independence in their parliamentary elections. Yesterday, Greenland's pro-business opposition party won virtually 30% of the vote. It favors a gradual path to independence from Denmark. It also pushes back against President Trump's wish to take control of the mineral-rich island.
Greenland's fight for independence, worldwide impact. The future of Greenland is uncertain and divided. Many political parties and organizations differ on the path towards Greenlandic independence, while others reject the notion entirely. Climate change, rapidly melting polar ice caps create more opportunities for trading and mining to fuel the Greenlandic economy moving forward. Greenlandic identity history comes from three distinct waves of Canadian Inuit migrations, Danish settlement, and colonialization of the region. The first settlers were the Sauk tribe, who migrated to southern Greenland in 2500 BC to follow large fish migrations. They created small Greenlandic settlements in the southern tip of Greenland where they fished, grew crops, and traded with other Inuit groups that remained in Canada. But around 800 BC, a cooling climate caused many animals to migrate back to Canada, making agriculture impossible, leading all the Sauk population to either relocate back to Canada or die of starvation, leaving the island desolate and empty. Though they died out, the later Greenlandic inhabitants learned how to use their technology, like dog sleds, hunting spears, and wood canoes, from the surviving northern members of the Sauk tribe in Canada. And in 500 BC, a new group called the Dorset migrated to Greenland in search of more hunting space. Their culture was more based upon hunting large marine animals like seals, walruses, and narwhals. They used their entire bodies for clothing and shelter and food, rather than the small-scale agriculture of the Sauk people. After living on the island for over 1,000 years, in 986 AD, Eric the Red, a Danish Viking, fled the colony of Iceland and landed on Greenland and became the first European in the New World. The Dorset were the first Native Americans to witness and contact European explorers. The Viking settlers set up small settlements near the southern tip of Greenland, near many of the old Dorset communities, began small-scale trade and cultural exchange with the native communities. This quickly spread European diseases from the Viking communities to the Dorset, along with increasing temperatures from the medieval warming period and being outcome pieces for walruses and whales by the Thule tribe led to the Dorset population going extinct. The Thule people, their descendants, the modern-day four tribes of Greenland, the Kalsit, the Tunami, the Imbahid, and the Eversunmeet, who make up 88% of Greenland's population today, migrated to Greenland from northern Canada to follow the whale population around 1000 to 1200 AD. But these communities migrated to the frigid northern Greenland, far from the newly arrived Viking settlers, to avoid disease and competition for food. These Vikings remain many of the European cultural and technological practices, including sheep herding and small-scale farming, fishing, and hunting, to feed their communities in southern Greenland. While the Vikings continued to settle the region for centuries, the end of the medieval warming period led to a drop in global temperatures, making agriculture in Greenland once again impossible, leading to the slow death of the Viking communities in Greenland, who eventually died out or migrated back to Europe. From 1450 to 1721, the Thule people of Greenland live in isolation from the world, making their community more spread out and diverse. In the early 1700s, the Danish government sent missionaries to convert the Inuit people and reassert the Danish claim on the island. They still believe that there were descendants of the Scandinavian settlers living on the island from hundreds of years ago, and worried about them becoming more integrated into Inuit society. In 1721, Hans Egge was sent to the island to convert the native people. He lived among the natives for decades, set up the capital of Nuuk, and converted the native people to Lutheranism, which is still practiced today. This opened the door to more Danish influence on the island. Over the next 2 centuries, Greenland became an Arctic trading and fishing outpost for the Danish kingdom. More Danish administrators were sent to civilize and modernize the native people and form a colonial government. The Danish colonizers subjected the native people for centuries by forcing natives into cities, by trying to modernize and assimilate and erode native communities into Danish culture. One way they did this was by taking native children away from their families and raising them as Danish, similar to the Native American boarding schools in the US and Canada. Later, in 1941, when Nazi Germany invaded Denmark, America took control of Greenland, and after the war, the US offered to buy Greenland, but they were rejected. This would mark one of the first stages of American influence on Greenland. As the age of decolonization occurred, more Kalati people began protesting against Danish rule, demanding more autonomy from the Danish kingdom and equal rights in the eyes of the law. In 1979, Greenland was granted home rule, which allowed its own parliament. Greenland gained control over industries like education, health, fisheries, and mining. The parliament elected a prime minister and 31 members to govern the island. Meanwhile, Denmark still controlled all international and military matters of Greenland, and the Greenlandic people gained Danish citizenship. From the 70s to the 2000s, Greenland became more nationalized, including nationalized utilities, health, and college, funded by large grants from the Danish government. In 2009, Greenlandic people voted for self-government, which gave them greater autonomy on national issues and a greater separation from Denmark. They adopted Greenlandic as the island's official language along with Danish, and made it so they could not be sold to another nation. However, they still lacked an independent international voice. Though this agreement gave Greenland more autonomy, the fight for independence and equality continues to this day. Today, there are 5 major Greenlandic political parties with their own view on independence. Asud is the only major political party not in support of independence and wants greater unity with Denmark, aims to be a fully integrated province within Denmark. Meanwhile, the Nalkaret wants greater cooperation with the United States and advocates for independence as soon as possible and a Greenland with a mining-based economy. 3 remaining popular political parties are the Democrats, the Inuit Atuk, and the Simuit, who advocate for gradual independence and democratic socialism. Currently, the Democrats have won the most seats in Parliament in the most recent election. These 3 political parties are the most popular and display Greenland's desire for independence. Supporting these organizations is the main way the Greenlandic population supports independence. They're all trying to distance themselves currently from the US because of Trump's interest in Greenland and is viewed negatively by a majority of the Greenlandic population. Threats of purchase by Donald Trump have ignited anti-US rhetoric in Greenland and have pushed Greenland into a more independent direction. At the time, Prime Minister Mute B. Edge responded by saying, "Greenland's for the Greenlandic people. We do not want to be Danish. We do not want to be American. We want to be Greenlandic." And in 2023, Greenland drafted a constitution and plans to hold an independence referendum soon. In February 2024, at the Greenlandic Parliament, he later declared that independence is the goal for Greenland, and he wants to remove the shackles of the colonial era. Independence for Greenland will likely occur in the coming decades, led by the Kalaalleq, the Tumini, the the Inuit, and the Aversenmet, against Danish ownership of the island. Greenlanders against European control of the island. Inuits in the modern day are trying to retain their cultural practices, such as carving tulips, small figures with origins in Greenlandic Inuit mythology, carved from bone or soapstone, and the Greenlandic drum dance sound, which is used to express emotions and individuality. These cultural practices are valuable as an expression and are an art craft. They continue to fight for their identity against their government and the climate changing of the modern world. In the coming decades, global warming will significantly decrease the amount of ice in Greenland, opening up new Arctic trade routes and making mineral mining more accessible and profitable. In the future, as the temperature rises, Greenland's economy will continue to grow, making independence more financially viable, and the funding for the extremely popular social programs will continue. The opening of an international Arctic trade route will grant them resources monetarily they can use for their citizens and fund their independence movement, as well as grant them alliances they can use to trade their natural resources. And in the future, Greenland will be a haven for Inuit and Native culture worldwide.
Yeah.